Everybody comes to work with an official resume, your CV, what you've done, and an unofficial resume, your relationship history. What you describe between you and your wife, for example, in terms of, your devotion to your family and her wanting more the devotion to the marriage. Imagine that dynamic in the workplace, because that happens all the time. People go to work while they're busy taking care of others. And sometimes those others need additional care. How do you bring that up in the workplace? How do people not interpret it as you're working less? I'm doing more. I'm the one carrying all the load. How long is this going to last? Have you been appreciative enough of me for doing this for you? Etc., etc. And it's really all of those relational dynamics in the workplace which ultimately determine if you're happy at work and how well you perform at work. Because more than money, more than free food, more than any other compensation, if your relationships at work don't go well, you won't sleep well.
Why is it that you started this podcast on work relationships in particular?
So I, first of all, have worked in the work context in companies for a long time. I just hadn't done a podcast about it. But I also think that the workplace has come to me. I didn't go to the workplace. And what that means is this: never has the world of emotion entered business and the work environment to such an extent. We talk today at work about authenticity, belonging, transparency, psychological safety. An entire emotional vocabulary has entered the workplace in ways that it never had. And so this is where I am. I've come with that vocabulary to a place that realized it now wants to focus on it. Relational intelligence in the workplace was always considered a soft skill. Now it's actually considered a core skill for business success. People won't stay. People are moving around way too much if the relationships are not well. So a lot of this has to do with what is changing in the future of work. And I also think that everyone understands this when you say, when your relationships don't go well at work, it just is impossible to go to and spend 10 hours there every day. It's miserable, but nobody had really just simply said, you know what, this set of issues that I see happening in couples is what happens between people at work. It's the same issues: power and control, care and trust, and respect and recognition. It's about expectations, it's about boundaries, it's about rituals. And especially when we move on Zoom and we're going into a digitalized work, all these questions about how do you create the relationship, how do you create connection, how do you create support, trust, teams, etc. It's really what we're going to be talking about.